Will Ospreay is set to make his AEW official debut as a roster member at AEW Revolution. It has been said on this week's episode of Dynamite, we're going to talk about what we think about his opponent and maybe early booking ideas for Will Ospreay as well. What's up, people? It's your boy Mex, the WrestleManiac, if you will, back again with another episode of Revolution Radio alongside my co-host NK.
Yo, people, NK, man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, man. Yeah, man. Listen, the road to Revolution is fully on the way. You know, half of the cards already been set. You know, I pray there's not too much more additions, but we know AEW must be a 20-show card. So, you know, we'll see. But, yeah, man, the road to Revolution's here, man.
Yeah, I think I saw someone put out list. I think it might have been SP3 actually. Big up SP3.
Yeah.
I think he must have listed the amount of matches so far or predicted matches. Yeah. I didn't look because I don't know why I didn't look. I think I wanted to still keep it a surprise for myself at this moment, but I've got an idea of what they are anyway. But yeah, I guess we've been talking about 3 of these big names coming in. Mercedes, which looks like it's set for the 13th of March. Okada is still, I guess, the dirt sheets are saying it's 80-90% done, nothing confirmed. Will Ospreay was the one amongst the 3 that is absolutely confirmed. He said in his promo when he was unveiled that it will be a thing where he will try to make Revolution. But I don't think it was very sure at the time. But it looks like Revolution is definitely going to be the debut. We had, I think, somewhere in the middle of the show, Don Callis was being interviewed by Renee Paquette, putting over the Don Callis family, how great they are, the great run Takeshita's been on. Renee Paquette was like, "Oh, this great run that Takeshita's been on." She said, "Oh, you've beat Kenny Omega twice." I'm thinking that was last year. Come on. Yeah. He's it's not like he hasn't been doing stuff this year, but
no, you could have named that I've beaten one half of the tag team champions in Darby Allin. I beat Chris Jericho. Like, there's names you could have named more recently than Kenny Omega.
He's name brand, innit? He's designer, so you have to throw him in there if you can on the CV. So I hear it, but yeah,
designer no more.
Well, yeah, that's true. But yeah, so they were listing all these names and they're saying what's Takeshita gonna do next, and they said no one wants to face Takeshita, no one wants to face Hobbs. We've built them up to, I guess, monster level and stuff like that. And Don Callis does, I guess, something somewhat unprecedented and says, well, we're going to look between ourselves. I have to create competition within the family now. And he said Will Ospreay is going to have his first AEW match, like I say, officially on the roster against Takeshita. Now, from a match point of view, I was like, oh, blimey, geezer, mate, let's get it. Like, this is going to be brilliant. I can only hope they use this as a means to get Will Ospreay away from Don Callis and his family. But yeah, what was your thoughts when it was announced, and where do you think it could go in respect to
I think the winner, whoever, one person has to defect from the faction. Here's the thing. I think obviously the match will be tremendous. Like, this is easily that could be a match of the year contender right here. Like, the match is tremendous. This is exactly the type of marquee match you set for Will Ospreay. First match in AEW against Konosuke Takeshita. Cool. My thing is that I don't want Takeshita losing, but he kind of has to, because it's like he kind of. But at the same time, it's like it's a marquee match, so a loss to Ospreay isn't the end of the world. But it's like, narratively, I think somebody has to leave. I think they can't have this match and then going back to be happy Don Callis family. Somebody has to defect from the faction. And I think there are cases for it. I don't think Don Callis has served Takeshita well, but then I look at what can Takeshita do on his own as a heel, and that's a question mark. I'm not saying he can't be great on his own, but then if Ospreay was to leave, I'm like, that's perfect. I kind of trust Ospreay more in that role, because we've never really seen a successful Japanese wrestler on their own in the States to where we expect Takeshita to be. We don't expect Takeshita to be some mid-carder. We expect him to be in the mix of the title picture. But listen, best case scenario is that both of them defect and go about their own ways, because I'm tired of this Don Callis family stuff. But in terms of a match to put on the pay-per-view, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a fresh opponent.
Yeah,
That's one of the things we kind of said with when we were deciding, okay, weighing up pros and cons of AEW and WWE is that WWE has a ton of fresh matches. AEW still has fresh matches, but he has history with a lot of these guys. Takeshita is somebody that they've never crossed paths in the ring together as like, against each other. So it's a fresh match. It's gonna be an excellent match. I can't wait. When I woke up and saw this, I was like, what? Rah, say no more. How we got
yeah.
there? Shaky. A bit shaky.
Yeah, this is going to be a very high level exhibition match. Gloddy says here in the chat, big up Gloddy. He says, mark my words, Ospreay versus Takeshita will be the best match on Revolution. I think that's a bet that anyone would take. It's definitely gonna be, one for the ages, and this again could be something they return to, depending how, maybe not necessarily even quickly, but Takeshita still needs to develop. We know he's got all the skills, the attributes in ring, but once I guess he finds himself, whether that be with Don Callis or without him, and Takeshita will operate in like the main event tier of AEW one day. Ospreay will forever be in that tier, so this is something they can definitely revisit. And this if it's like if I don't want to say this could be like the new age rivalry of like how Kenny and Okada had their kind of back and forth for years on end, because that was more in the midst of a story, and it became a struggle for Kenny. But yeah, maybe it's kind of played off in an opposite kind of fashion where we know Ospreay's going to come in, he's going to hit the ground running, he's going to get the titles and stuff, and maybe it's in the opposite sense where Takeshita is always going to be chasing Ospreay in that fashion. But yeah, in terms of a starting match,
could we see a scenario where it's very unlikely where Ospreay loses? And if he does that hurt his stock?
I wouldn't say it hurts his stock, because if Ospreay loses, there's going to be a goddamn reason as to why he's losing.
Yeah.
So I'm immediately invested if Ospreay loses. But yeah, for me, I don't know what others will say if Ospreay loses. I don't think he should lose. Just come in, have a great match, win, done. But if he loses, I'm gonna be like, all right, cool. There's something here. Let's go. Let me see what it is. But yeah, I don't know if it's worth that risk, that gamble, really.
Yeah, but, it's a ballsy move. I think Takeshita, they've had a stop-start push with him, but they see something in him. It's just the execution's been poor. So I just want to know where this goes, and I just hope the worst case scenario is that they have an excellent match, and it's like, kumbaya, we're family again, let's shake hands, and Don Callis Family proceeds as normal. Because I'm like, what's the point? This needs to cause some sort of internal struggle within the family, because I think you should separate Will from Don Callis.
Yeah.
Especially now that I won't say the Kenny Omega story has been fully told, because you could easily spin back a rematch, but we're not going to tell that story anytime soon. So for now, kind of just loose affiliate. I'd have like Ospreay loosely affiliated with the family, but have him be his own man for the most part.
Yeah. To be honest, if they are going to keep the family together, the max I would do is have Don Callis almost like a lawyer figure, like a broker. Like when Ospreay has his big matches, you might see Don Callis by his side to help broker a deal or any kind of thing like that. Like I wouldn't have Ospreay every time he comes out, Callis is there and talking on his behalf and all that kind of stuff. Man. Just like almost like a high level confidant or something, a broker, a lawyer, someone that kind of handles his big business sort of thing.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's the most. I don't want to see them together, but yeah, like you're saying, a loose affiliation is the very best I guess we can hope for. But yeah, that was some pretty big news on this show. Again, building towards Revolution. Apart from this, how did you generally find Dynamite?
I feel the build to Revolution, I'm liking it a lot. I feel like most things are getting adequate build. I'm invested in most things. Of course, like there are things I didn't like about the show, and we'll get to them. But I feel like the build to this is, I can say this for now. We're like what, maybe like 2 weeks away from Revolution, right? 2, 3.
Yeah, about 2-3. Yeah.
I can say this build to Revolution is stronger than last year's. Overall, it's stronger than
I was
last year.
gonna say this has been the best build, and I mean that as in the gap between what has always been, obviously this past year's World's End and Revolution, but previously it's
Yeah,
been Full Gear and Revolution. This span in between, this has been booked the best for
yeah.
maybe since inception,
And I think
because
World's End is a massive contributor to that.
yeah, maybe that
Yeah.
definitely helps to kind of just like we've been saying, just plug a gap, make something happen in the middle, because that span from November to March or end of February, as it used to be, was just far too long. And even this has been long. It's been what, 30th of December or so since the last
Yeah.
pay-per-view, but they've handled it in terms of the booking and just step by step and the slow progress, bar maybe the international title stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, we had a good angle around that this week, but like that's the only thing that they said, weeks ago. This is gonna be the match. This is what we're doing, and it's like, right, not United, what's it called? Undisputed Kingdom. They don't look necessarily the best
No.
right now. We're still weeks and weeks away, yet we know this is gonna be the match happening. Them man aren't particularly strong without Adam Cole fully indulging in the storyline. So that's been the only miss, I guess. But even then, because it's in the mid card, it's not like a major story. Like, it's okay, you can get away with it, sort of thing. But yeah, this is, for me, it's been the best span between these two pay-per-views since they began.
Yeah, and I feel like the most important thing is that you have multiple angles. Like all good wrestling, you have more. I can look at the paper and be like, okay, there's multiple angles, not just matches, because I feel like most time for AEW pay per views, like the matches have always succeeded, but I'm going into the pay per view excited about multiple storylines or multiple angles in it. So yeah, like it's looking like Revolution's looking like it's going to be a good one, because I think 6 matches have been fully confirmed in terms of like getting a graphic, and so far so good. I
Yeah,
just need to know like what random match they're gonna add here, they're gonna add there, because it's coming. Like
yeah.
because the way the card is right now, I'm happy with it, but they're gonna
Well,
add
there's
something.
still to add Danielson and Kingston for sure.
Oh,
That's
I
still
think
gonna
they've
happen.
already got a graphic, I believe.
Okay, that's already okay. Cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
said, I haven't checked it. No. So the world title match, of course, is there. Women's title match will be there. International title, we know what they're doing there. TNT is probably going to be Edge Christian again,
Probably gonna
right?
be added. Yeah.
Or Copeland Christian, yeah. Um, what other titles have you got? Don't know what they're going to do around the tag title has been added, of course. Sting
Yeah.
retirement match. The trios, are they going to do something around the trios possibly?
Yeesh.
Um,
Yeesh.
yeah,
So I
but
think so the matches that I've got on official graphics, I'll read them out.
mhm.
We've got the tag team title match, Darby Allin and Sting versus the Young Bucks. We've got the triple threat title match, Samoa Joe,
Mhm.
Swerve Strickland, and Hangman Page. We've got Eddie Kingston, Bryan Danielson, Will Ospreay, Konosuke Takeshita.
Sorry, Danielson and Kingston. What's that for? The which title?
Triple Continental Crown Championship.
The AEW one.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. Yeah.
yeah. Um Obviously the women's match, Tony Storm and Diana Peraza, and then Orange
Mhm.
Cassidy and Roderick Strong. Those are the matches I'm seeing with graphics right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, then Ospreay to Takeshita. Obviously, they just announced that.
Yeah.
So, and that's how many in total? 7
6.
plus Ospreay
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
thing
Yeah, plus
is
yeah,
6.
6. Yeah.
They're gonna add another 4. Also.
Because
These
yeah,
people are gonna
oh
add another
yeah, because
4
you've got the
matches to
TBS
this.
title. We
Yeah.
need to add the TBS. You've got the TNT. Oh yeah, this
The
is a 10-match
trios.
card, isn't it? This is a
Yeah, and
10-match
the
card.
trios ain't got a match. And then maybe another kind of exhibition match somewhere. Um,
Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
we're still about 4 matches short, probably. So yeah, like you're saying, it's fine for me where it is now, but
Yeah.
we're probably about 4 matches short. Big up Navy in the chat. He says, I love Orange Cassidy, but I'm getting tired of his reign. It doesn't hit like the first reign.
It shouldn't have
I would
happened.
agree.
This reign
But
shouldn't
yeah,
have happened. This reign
that's the truth of
shouldn't.
the matter.
It shouldn't have happened. Like
The
it's
truth of the matter is,
yeah.
if Moxley stayed fit when he had it, didn't get what was it, a concussion, he would
Yeah.
probably be champion.
But
Yeah, they
even
put it back
so,
on him because it was reliable. Well, they had
mm,
Ray Phoenix as well in between, didn't they?
but Ray Phoenix got injured as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. But even so, I still feel like putting the title back on Orange was a mistake. I know they took it off Moxley because of the injury, but I don't know. There's been other mid carders that you could have found like and created something temporarily with. Like I don't putting it right back on Cassidy, especially after the raid he just had.
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't mind them because obviously, like you said, Ray Phoenix, if I remember correctly, he got injured in the match.
Yeah,
So it's like they
midnight.
almost called an audible to put it on Cassidy. Cool. I don't mind that. But then yeah, Cassidy shouldn't have like still have the belt now.
Yeah,
Like when he came out for the main event, which we'll get to, I think his lower third said 127-day international day reign. I was thinking already he's held the belt for this long again, sort of thing. Like, yeah, this reign hasn't been anywhere near as good, despite the match in the main event was really good last night. But yeah, it doesn't hit like the first reign. That's for
no.
sure. But
We need to move it
yeah,
on, man. We need to move it on.
we need to move it on for sure. I think Roderick Strong will be a good champion, but again, it'll probably be very open challenge heavy. But I don't think that's an issue for him. That's his bag. Let's talk about Dynamite. Let's talk about the show we got last night, emanating from the HEB Center in Texas. The show opened up with Jon Moxley and Dax Harwood having a slobber knocker of a match, if I can say. Couple kisses exchanged between two men during the match. Valentine's Day distant, I guess. But hard hitting, ferocious match between the two of them. There was a paradigm shift right at the end, counted into a brainbuster, which gave Harwood a 2 count. They announced like 15 minutes left or something like that, and I guess people may have started thinking that it was going to some type of time limit draw, because I think it's a 20-minute limit for this match. But Mox got the job done before he gave him a rear naked choke where Harwood tapped out. This was a really good win for Mox. I think he just looked, again, it's just these two just want to go out and scrap. Like that's the whole MO, and especially this year, Mox had said from early this year that's his MO. He's just on fighting anybody, including people in his own camp. Harwood continues to have singles matches, great performances, no wins, which I don't particularly mind. He's a tag team guy. But yeah, it's just good, fun performances. Following this, Cash Wheeler came out to make the save because I guess Moxley wouldn't let go of the choke. Claudio then jumped in on Wheeler. Bit of a scrap between the two guys there, FTR and BCC, and we are getting next week on Dynamite FTR versus Claudio and Jon Moxley from BCC. I shouted at the TV when it's happened. I said, "Oh, FTR have escaped Collision. They're coming over to Dynamite now, and getting involved in a couple things." But yeah, and I think it was announced during this match as well, obviously, where it looked like it was going, the CMLL guys versus BCC in Arena Mexico in an 8-person tag, which will be good fun as well. But as for this opening match on Dynamite, what did you think of it, NK?
Yeah, I thought it was a great opener. Dax Harwood doesn't miss in these matches. I know Cash doesn't want to wrestle, but every time I see a Dax match, I'm like, Cash joining on the fun, man. Come on.
Cash is better than him. Like, he's a better wrestler. Like, I'll live by this, I'll die by it. But Dax is brilliant as well.
Yeah, Dax is sensational, man. I was thinking, I was like, so FTR House of Black is done, yeah. Like we're
Issues started. They just refused to join the House of Black. They had a couple scraps, and then they had the scrap with Danny Garcia joining.
Yeah,
then yeah, I guess
Okay,
it's
cool.
done for
Like,
them.
that's been wrapped up. Okay, sure.
Mm.
Yeah, this is. I think, like I said last week, Moxley right now is just doing side missions, and you know what? Like, it's fun. I just want to see what antics the Blackpool Combat Club get up to. For me, I'm not saying now. I do want to see. I know Claudio had the ROH title reign, which fair enough, cool. I want to see Claudio do something. Even Utah. I know Utah's probably mostly restricted to Ring of Honor, but I want to see Claudio's more specifically. Utah's got the privilege of youth on his side, so he'll be around. But I want to
Yeah.
see Claudio do something. I'm not saying it needs to be immediate, but you know, I want to see him get into a feud, maybe a one-on-one feud. Maybe, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be a title, but you know, just some let Claudio have some. I think Claudio's feuds are always connected to Blackpool Combat Club. Even Utah's had his own personal rivalries with people, whether it be Shibata, whether it be, you know, yeah, he's had his own personal rivalries, but I want to see Claudio, you know, just have his little one-on-one feud with someone. But yeah, overall, I'm looking forward to this. You know, it should be a great match on Dynamite next week, and I'm interested to see if this is like a TV storyline or it progresses further into like a pay-per-view storyline.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see. Navy says here in the chat, wouldn't mind FTR Bold being in this Continental Classic this year.
Yeah,
I think that could be fun, and hopefully he can pick up a win or so. But yeah, there's opportunity for that, definitely.
a quick one on the Continental Classic though. Now that we have the talent we have, no, this is G. We have G1 talent now. Last year, cool, it was great, but we have G1 talent now. Oh, like we have like potentially okay, Ospreay, Okada's not confirmed, but let's assume Okada's wrestling now. Oh no, this, in my opinion, this should be on the level or better than the G1 this year.
Yeah,
We have the
potentially because the G1 is bigger, so they have to put more quote unquote filler into it. Yeah. This is a smaller tournament, but at the same time, if they go and pick like this was my frustration last year that they said the best of AEW. So I'm thinking if you line up the best in a list, I want to see the top 12 in this tournament. And it didn't really turn out that way, despite the tournament being great. Now, Ospreay can be in it, or Okada, if he comes through the door, he can be in it. You know, all these top guys can be in it, but then people have to lose.
Yeah, so, no, that's why FTR Bold can be in there. But like, I feel like in, let's say what, I can't remember how many people in each bracket, but I'm gonna just say
6.
Let's say
6 in each bracket. This lot.
So let's say there's 6 people in each bracket. I think 3 of them should be top stars, minimum. Like minimum 3 of them, and then you can have
in each bracket, 3 in one bracket, 3 in the other. Okay, cool.
Yeah. 3 of them 3 in each bracket should be top stars, and then the other 3 can be like range mid-carders to like people to eat pins. I think that's fair. Because obviously you don't want to put everyone who's a contender in the tournament because but you want to put at least half of them be heavy hitters so it means something. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we listen, you put a Takeshita, an Okada, and then a Moxley in a bracket, then fill it out with the Rushes and the so on and so forth. You've got an amazing tournament. The roster's there now. Use it.
Yeah. No, there's definitely room for it to be great this year. I think more so maybe if we can't quite get it done this year, although I don't see why we can't, I want to see a women's Continental Classic because we need to start, you know, cooking up that and the talent is there also. So maybe we have a women's one that concludes, that leads into the men's one that starts in, what is it, November or late October, whatever.
Do you know what I propose?
Oh.
They scrap the men's half of the Owen and just make the Owens Women's Cup.
Okay. But before, they had a men's Owen and a women's Owen, didn't they?
They had a men's and the women's, but I'm saying maybe you don't do it with the Owen, but like you just basically like have like a women's dedicated cup early on in the year. So it doesn't clash with the Continental Classic. You have like, you repurpose the Owen or make it like a fully women's tournament. Have it like I'd say have it like double or nothing season. Do something like that. Or another example. since AEW don't really have like a working relationship with Stardom as we know, and women tend to get left out of Forbidden Door. The way you can circumvent that is the build to Forbidden Door. You just do like a New Japan style tournament for the women, so it still feels in theme. So you do a
Yeah,
Continental Classic for the women, then the main event match happens at Forbidden Door, so it still feels in
yeah,
theme with the whole Forbidden Door New Japan AEW thing.
yeah. That's an idea. That's definitely an idea. Yeah, even just like you said, taking the Owen seriously, like, and for giving them a little good tournament there. Yeah, there's a lot of things, but I think that at the end of the day, the women need a tournament.
Yeah,
There's too many good women on the roster. There's not enough. There's one world title. There's one TBS title. The rest of them still need to be showcased. So, yeah, something like that will definitely help. Let's move on. We've spoken about the Don Callis segment with Will Ospreay. We had Wardlow going up against Barrett Brown. This was a 90-second match, I believe, at best. There was a knee to the face, there was a power bomb, and Wardlow gets the win. Adam Cole was on commentary. I actually can't remember Adam Cole saying anything on commentary that the match was so quickly. And
I don't think he said
he never
anything.
had an entrance. Yeah, maybe he didn't. I can't remember anything. So yeah, that was that with Wardlow. We had a vignette segment. The Young Bucks, they're getting off their private jet. They are still dressed in their white suits, dosed in the blood of Darby Allin from the segment with Sting last week. And they have a match on the night against Top Flight, which we'll get to shortly, which they proceeded to wrestle in their soiled white suits. So, yeah, I don't know why they didn't feel to change the garments, but I guess they're just showing their handiwork from last week. We had a really good match here in the middle of the show: Adam Copeland versus Daniel Garcia. So this match, if I remember correctly, was basically for the number one contendership for the TNT title. Copeland was healing it up here. He was kind of taking like the heel role here. But we had a really strong match between the two guys. Towards the end, we got an STF from Copeland. Garcia, he went up to Copeland, pulled him down with a single underhook suplex, and then we saw Nick Wayne, not Luchasaurus, kill switch, run in, scattered the whole thing, no contest. So I guess we're no closer right now to knowing who's gonna face Christian at Revolution for the TNT title. And then post-match, we saw the patriarchy come down. Christian, the TNT title, Shayna Wayne in tow with, she's competing with Christian now with her big turtleneck that she was wearing. Yeah, Concerto to Edge. They all stand over him and stuff. But I feel like this was a good match, and it's kind of weird when you get no contest in AEW because it's not really their thing. I didn't want Garcia to lose here, so I didn't mind the outcome sort of thing. But where do you think we're going with this?
I think we might be building to another triple threat, which I'm not fond of because we have already won in the world title, and I don't want too many triple threats on. I think there should have been like one on the card. It's interesting. I'm happy with Christian's TNT title reign, but a part of me does think it should have ended at World's End.
Yeah.
Because I think this Daniel Garcia Adam Copeland thing could have been like the pay-per-view match to kind of elevate Daniel Garcia. Because it would have been what? Let's say he won that World's End. Christian would Adam Copeland would have had the title for like almost 2 months, right? 2 months of the bit. Solid TNT title reign and could have passed it on. Now it's a situation where, because you need to, I feel the Adam Copeland story and Christian story needs to end with Adam Copeland winning. They've been telling the story for months. Adam Copeland should defeat Christian. But now you're building Daniel Garcia. We want to see him win the title. So I'm not gonna say they've ruined the story because they haven't. I just personally feel that they should have um put the title on Adam Copeland, but he was, like you said, he was healing it up in this match. So is it a thing where they join force, Adam Copeland and Christian join forces, or like, yeah. So it's I won't say the story's like ruined or anything like that, but it is interesting. I do hope Daniel Garcia is a fixture in this title picture going forward though, because I think this is the step up he needs. If we're gonna take Daniel Garcia seriously, this is kind of the step up he needs, and putting him in a feud with veterans like Adam Copeland and Christian is a good step in the right direction. But we need to see, we need to see results now.
Yeah. I think they've literally, or maybe this 1 minute reign Copeland had is all he's gonna get. Like, I think if they do a triple threat, Garcia should walk out and win. I'm still remembering the story of Copeland saying that the patriarchy will turn on you, and then you'll come crying back to me, and all of this kind of stuff. And to a certain degree, I expect that to probably happen soon, just because of what the Young Bucks are doing. And we might get, if he comes crying back to Edge, in effect, we might get Edge and Christian again, Copeland and Christian, and then they might face the Young Bucks or something like that. And then obviously, well, I know Jeff Hardy got an injury the other day, but you might then get the Hardys in the picture and all of these legacy teams that the Young Bucks want to lay to rest. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same. Like, they've probably now Christian's title reign is beginning to feel like, okay, this is overstayed its welcome. Edge probably should have won it, and he was doing the Cope Open anyway, so those could have all just been like open challenges,
Exactly,
sort of thing. And then we could be looking to transition it onto Daniel Garcia at this point. But that's not quite happened. But yeah, I would like to see something different within this scene. Daniel Garcia's been doing some good work, as has Edge. So come Revolution, I would want to see something different for this title. But yeah, good match between the two. Unfortunately, didn't get a winner at the end. Next up, we had the champion and I guess the contenders in a segment in the ring. There was a nice little vignette looking back at Hangman Page versus Swerve Strickland's time limit draw from last week, and the words that were shared after the time limit draw before Tony Schiavone announced that it was just going to be a triple threat match. Samoa Joe came out to the ring first. He talked about bringing back the ranking system to make sure that he faces only the best, and that Page and Swerve went to a draw. He is basically saying he has no fear over these guys. Joe promised to kind of hurt both of them, and then Swerve Strickland comes out when he says that. And Swerve Strickland has said, like, he's went through the who's, the legends, the all the names in AEW that he needs to get to this point. And he's been waiting for like his big break all his life, sort of thing. And that now people recognize that, it's his time. Whose house is it? Swerve's house, all that kind of stuff. And Hangman Adam Page comes out and he's saying that, Swerve, you didn't beat me last week, and that it should be Hangman Page versus Samoa Joe at Revolution. He says that Swerve doesn't deserve another chance, and Samoa Joe ain't having any of this. I can't remember the word for word that promo he cut right at the end before he stormed out the ring, but I thought it was just brilliant stuff. We're still getting Joe versus Swerve versus Hangman. It's looking like it's gonna be like a really, really good match. I guess it's where do you stand? Has this particular segment swayed you on who's walking out as champion? What do you think is going to happen though?
it's made me if I was like 80% Swerve, winning, I'm now at like 70. I think Joe retains. And Joe came across. I think Joe came across the biggest, not like the actual champion. Like Joe just came across so well in this segment. Like, you know, Hangman and Swerve were having their petty dispute, and then Joe just came in and said, "I'm gonna beat both of you guys because I'm the world champion. I'm out of here. Like, I'm not gonna. Don't involve me in you man's petty squabbles. But at the same time, you man are coming for my title. Calm." But I think Hangman, my thing now is when Hangman said you don't deserve the title, I think Hangman will cost Swerve the championship. That is Swerve will be on the precipice of winning, and Hangman's gonna cost him. I think Joe retains. I honestly think Joe retains.
I think we're looking at a situation, where maybe Swerve has Joe beat. Maybe Hangman does the thing where, you know, Swerve's gone to pin him. He gets Swerve, throws him out the ring, tries to steal the pin. Maybe that he switches it into a cleaner clutch. Hangman passes out. Joe retains.
Yeah.
So basically, Hangman's tried to pull a fast one, and it hasn't worked out for him. So that still kind of, you know, quote unquote, protects Swerve in all of this. Yeah, big up Dell in the chat. He said Swerve, Page, and Joe were excellent in this. Joe's closing lines before he left. There's something that he just said, like on beat, on rhythm, and I just thought, nah, this is cold. And he just walked out the ring. So yeah, he's doing some good stuff. Navy says, I could see Hangman winning the title and then Swerve beating Hangman again. I think there's already going to be a lot of, you know, flip flop of the title this year. So I don't think you will add in this wrinkle. I think retains more so than this. I was telling the others yesterday at podcast that Gerard Bonner, when I was doing a show with him on my channel earlier this week, he predicts that Joe retains here, and then Swerve wins the title at Big Business. Swerve will come with his, you know, I never got pinned kind of thing. You get Samoa Joe versus Swerve at Big Business, and he wins. Because it's still Big Business, he's still Mogul Embassy, like it still plays into it pretty much. The theme of the show.
Big Business is like it's not a pay-per-view, but it's a marquee show.
They're building it,
yeah. So
Tony Khan said it's going to be an iconic night. Obviously, we know there's going to be signings, but he said this is going to be one, you know, for memories and all of this kind of thing. And he's a promoter doing promoter business, but like, I don't doubt him.
How
like
far
they
is
can
Big
do it.
Business out from Big Business? Like what, 2 weeks after Revolution?
Yeah, it's so we got Revolution, we've got Dynamite, then we've got the following week's Dynamite is Big Business. Let me look at a calendar to be sure of that.
Yeah, so if
Revolution is 3rd of March. Then we got Dynamite on the 6th of March, and then we got Big Business on the 13th of March. So yeah, it's a week. Swerve can basically come out and be like, "Boom! Next week, I want my rematch or whatever."
Oh, I'm back. Okay, I thought I wallowed. So let's say Swerve like is on the verge of pinning Joe. He loses out on the match. My thing is, what stops Hangman from trying to interfere again? Unless Hangman eats the pin.
You mean the first time?
Yeah. Okay, no. So if Swerve like is about to beat Joe, Joe chokes out Hangman. Okay, it makes sense. I was trying to make sense of how like what would prevent Hangman from trying to like stop Swerve winning the title again. But if he loses if he eats the pin of the triple threat, then he's no longer contender. Yeah, because he ate the pin.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Exactly. So that's Swerve's grounds to say I want my match because I didn't get pinned. If he appeals to Joe's ego and then Joe grants him the match the following week at Big Business, then yeah. Even if I saw that happen on the 6th of March, and Joe said, "Yeah, you get your match at Big Business," we know Swerve is being crowned because I think again they've had precedents with this. If you remember back to the Acclaimed not winning the tag team titles initially, then they went and won it at Arthur Ashe. like the matter of 2
Kenny
weeks later.
Omega won the title at Winter is Coming. Like they've established that titles can change on these shows. So in fact, Swerve's
TV,
tag, Swerve and Our Glory won on a Dynamite. So like, yeah.
So yeah, I think that could be a way to go as well if Joe does retain at the pay-per-view, which after, like we're saying, after the great promo last night, it's looking more likely that that's a possibility. But yeah, some good stuff between these men. Like you always say, making the AEW World title feel very important. That's the prize here, that whether they're trying to stop each other from winning it or be the next person to win it, it makes it feel like it's very important.
I heard I think it was a tweet from Suit Williams online where he basically pitched the same idea, but instead of Swerve, that's how you debut Okada. Is that you have him go straight for the title and have him, like, let's say he debuts at Revolution, which doesn't make sense because the rankings, but I saw this online and it got a lot of traction where, like, let's say Joe retains, you have Okada immediately pin Joe at Big Business and then he's champion. A lot of people liked it. My problem with it was it undercut Swerve. And my thing is, as much as I love Okada, if you told me someone must be champion this year, Swerve or Okada, it has to be Swerve. Because Swerve needs to be established. Okada is somebody we already see at that level. So AEW are pushing him to maintain his level, but we're elevating Swerve into a new level. So he must be, champion.
Yeah. If Okada came in and just done that, I'll be like, nah, this is mental. I'd have to think it's in his contract that he had to win it or something like that.
You know what it does? Yeah. I think it elevates Okada, and cool. Okada stocks will be an all-time high, but I think it hurts Swerve. Kinda hurts Joe. Because my man just keeps coming to pinch you, but I think it just undercuts what Swerve's going on. Because once Okada's got the title, it's like we ain't taking it off him for a while.
Yeah.
Until the likes of an Ospreay or somebody comes into the picture, which they could do, but I just feel like you can't undercut Swerve right now. Like you've done the hard work, you've made him hot. Now the finish line is ahead of you. All you have to do is cross it. Just cross the finish line. You've done the work for months. Don't fumble it at the end.
Navy says Okada doesn't need a title feud in 2024. I'll probably agree with that. Dell says, would Okada losing a title match against Swerve affect Okada's stock? I don't think so. But it depends how early in Okada's run. But I don't think so in general, because they've built up Swerve. Like we're just saying, they've done the hard work. But it just depends how much of the crowd know of Okada previously and all of that kind of stuff. I just wouldn't do it very early in his run if they were going to do that.
I think it slightly hurts it. Not because of who Swerve is, it's just how I don't want Okada coming into AEW early and already losing the title opportunity. I think later on down the line, maybe, like if this is like an all-out match or like a full gear match around them times of the year, fine. But if it's an early on match, like a double or nothing, I'm like, no, leave that alone. Leave that alone. It's too soon.
Yeah, I mean, especially how a lot of us have pitched how we want Okada to be treated in AEW, like as a spectacle, as almost like a phenom kind of character where he just comes in, has these high profile matches sort of thing. He's box office. Like you don't want someone that we want box office to be here losing as well. So especially it's too early. It would have to literally be like November, December times if he's going to take a first loss or something like that.
Yeah.
Or if they put him in Continental Classic and later this year he can lose to someone in Continental Classic. I don't think that's a problem, but not
Yeah.
within the next first 3 months or 4 months.
Yeah,
So.
and if you consider like how Okada even was reintroduced in New Japan from Excursion, he won the title his first his first time trying. So you don't have to do that in AEW per se, but it's like that's kind of what set Okada up. Like as soon as he literally second match, as soon as he came into the company, bang, I'm world champion. Oh my, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Cool. Let's talk about the women's title picture. There wasn't much in the way of like action for them, but we had this Toni Storm new film, which the long and short of it, she's talking about, her relationship with Perazo, and she took her in because she was a lost girl and all of this kind of stuff. She was in a tattoo parlor during the film, and it's basically the tattoo that they both have on their ankles of a duck. She's put a sword through hers that, I don't know, she's gonna cut Diana Perazo. I guess that's what she's trying to say there. Perazo, it cuts back to Perazo and Renee Paquette try not to laugh at the whole film situation. Perazo says that Storm talks too much. She said a specific word in her language or whatever, and she promises to break her arm. So yeah, that's a bit of the build towards the women's stuff on this particular episode. What did you think of it, NK?
This was the best Toni Storm vignette I've seen. I really enjoyed this. Like I really enjoyed this. Because with the early Tony time stuff, I always complained that it's not moving the story forward. It just feels like isolated character work. But I felt like this was great because we all know the match is happening, but then the whole tattoo thing was something that was shown earlier. It's been enhanced upon. The promo made sense in terms of like their dynamic, their rivalry, while still keeping, the entertainment factor of the timeless Tony character. I really enjoyed this. Like I enjoyed this a lot. I had a lot of fun with this. Like, see, bro, Chachos, this is how you do it. You know what I'm saying? Just short and sweet and to the point. But yeah, I think like I always say every week, I need one more interaction between these two in person.
Yeah.
Whether that happens, that may happen on a go home show or whatever. Just one more interaction between these two where it gets personal. Now she's done the tattoo, the sword on the duck thing. Who knows what will happen next? Maybe they might get into a brawl backstage. Just one more thing. But hey man, this was good, man. I liked it.
Moving on, we had the Young Bucks. They had their match with Top Flight. Like I said earlier, they're dressed in their bloody regalia from last week. This match, they were acting overly cartoonish, almost acting like, it was like they were giving feedback to Top Flight as the match was going on and stuff like that, and really rating them and stuff like that. Of course, mixed with heel tendencies and stuff. Nicholas particularly is moving particularly vicious within this tag team. There was I know there was like a low blow somewhere. I can't remember how close to the finish it was, but Dante Martin, he dropped both of them. We've done like a tornado DDT on Matthew Jackson. Nicholas sends Dante Martin into the barricade, and I think that's when he hit a low blow. And then they done a EVP trigger, as they call it, onto Darius Martin. So a decent match between these guys. At the end, the Young Bucks had a conversation with Tony Schiavone. They basically said that 100% win, whatever you call it. They haven't lost in 2024 with their one solitary match, and that's shooting them right top of the AEW tag team division, the rankings. So yes, that's why they're going to challenge Sting and Darby. And there was a bit of like afters with Tony Schiavone where Nicholas had knocked down Tony Schiavone. They said he was being insubordinate and stuff like that. We saw Darby Allin come and make the save. Darby Allin cut a promo basically saying that, you said you wanted to change the world when you started AEW. All you did was bring in your friends from California and stuff like that. It took the best EVP to basically give me a job, saying that's not Kenny Omega either. So obviously he's hinting at Cody. He talked about how on the first episode of Dynamite, he wasn't there, but Brandon Cutler was. And you could hear the crowd almost like break into laughter sort of thing. But yeah, Darby Allin came to make the save. I guess that match is pretty much what it is going to be. What did you think of this segment and the match?
I thought the match was very good. The Young Bucks, just in terms of like character work in the ring, in-ring storytellers, man, they're amazing. Like there used to be times where there was a part of the match that popped me where it was like Matt Jackson was in the ring. He was like, "Damn, these guys are really good, man." But it was like the most like condescending.
That's why, yeah.
It was like the most condescending thing I'd seen. Yeah, the post-match segment, Tony Schiavone stuff was fun. That was cool. The Darby promo, I get where they were going. I don't know if I was 100% a fan of it. I get where they were going though. I just think there was the issue with the promo is two things. You didn't address the Young Bucks attacking you last week. Like you spoke about, hey, I was held back. You might didn't rate me. Fairs, that's another thing, but. Like, where's the Vib for Sting? Like, you might just got beat up last week. Like, talk about that. Like, you might want to come out and attack me, rare tear. Okay. Like, there was none of that. It was like, okay, like you might have EVPs. And this is a minor thing, but when they said like, the other EVP believed in me, which is true in storyline, right? But it's kind of like you're getting Cody over when he's on another show. It's like,
yeah,
you can't pay off with that. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, he could have alluded to it. They'd be like, "Oh, there are people in the back that believed in me." He could have named that. Even one of the EVPs that aren't here believed in me before you, man. That's fine. But
even that's saying too much because then everyone knows who that is. But
yeah,
like you said the first time round, like he could have just said there was people in the back that believed in me and you didn't. Done.
Yeah, simple. But you're getting a man over, like you're getting a man over that doesn't work here no more. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay. Look, it's the fact he said, and I'm not talking about Kenny Omega. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe
he's a fan of Cody finishing his story as well.
Man, maybe. But overall, like I thought, like, and there should have just been a lot more vim, especially what after happened last week in terms of like addressing that portion of things. But other than that, I thought it was good. I can't wait for these EVPs of the Young Bucks to just like unleash havoc on the tag team division. Like I want to see people find like there's legs in these characters, man. There's legs, and I want to see a reign of terror again. I want to see it. And there are so many young guys. There's Private Party in the mix. Obviously, they've just Top Flight. They've done Top Flight, and you alluded to it earlier, like Adam Copeland and Christian, man. Oh, I would love it. Especially now they've told the story of the old timers in this company. Them lot old timers. There's money, man. There's money to be made, and I pray. My one wish is please. Let that match happen at All In so I can be there. Young Bucks and Adam Copeland and Christian. Let that match happen so I can be there. But yeah, man, there's legs in these characters, man.
I wouldn't even mind if they went and had like cronies. Like, I don't know if you make the cronies like younger talent that, kiss their ass basically and do everything they say, or older guys that are trying not to basically get cancelled and by the Young Bucks, so they start hanging around and kissing their boots and stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely got legs. One complaint I saw online today was that the Young Bucks have basically poo-pooed the rankings that have just come back. Now, I get the fact they're heels, they're EVPs, so they can kind of just do what they like. But I do kind of subscribe to maybe we should have let the rankings marinate for a bit long before you just come in and disrespect them.
Did they have a match on Rampage as well?
No, I don't think so.
No?
Against who? Because didn't they turn this year? As in, we haven't seen them this new year until they just returned. That's with the Sting.
Yeah,
with this new character.
I'm sure they had a match on Rampage, but regardless, even if it's
but that's what I'm saying. If they had a match on Rampage, it wouldn't have been this year then.
Fairs.
Because if they just come back with this new character this year, then yeah, they definitely had a match on Rampage with this character.
That's fair. Yeah, I felt like there should have been more of a reaction from Tony Schiavone about them, like, hey, you can't skip in line.
Yeah,
but do you know what it is? Maybe they could have waited at least one. I think they could have done 2 matches, 2 matches, and then poo. Okay, we've got 2 wins, guys. You know, let's go to the top. I feel they could have extended it for a week, but the intent is obviously these men are abusing their power in it. I feel like they maybe just could have extended it a week or so, or had a match here and then had this would have justified, or they could have done it a different way where they faced absolute jabrones, meaning not even guys signed to the roster, guys like, you know how they have local talent. They could have just been local talent as a way to take the piss. Yeah.
Okay, so the chat is saying that they did wrestle on Rampage. I was wrong, but they said they've got 1 win. Like Matt Jackson said, we've got 1 win now. We're 100% for the year. So
maybe he forgot who we beat on Rampage.
Maybe he means on Dynamite or something.
Yeah, on Dynamite.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, regardless, I get it. Like I say, they're heels, the EVPs, they can do what they like. But yeah, just something that people were mentioning. We had a segment with the Bang Bang Scissors Gang, and they want to have some 12-man tag team match on Rampage. I believe it's going to be this week. Yeah, I've
kill it with fire. End it. I'm waiting. To turn, please turn on these man. I beg.
Yeah.
Turn. End it. And you know what it is? Somebody pointed it out. Juice Robinson was the thing that was making Bullet Club Gold more tolerable.
Yeah.
Now I'm seeing Jay White, with the guns, and the guns are all right. But no, like there's levels.
Yeah.
There's levels. Let it go. It's time. It's time to let it all go. And I'm so sorry. I am sick of the Acclaimed.
I said, can you back?
I am sick of these, man.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it. Undisputed Kingdom are there. What? I don't get it.
Now it just feels like these men have these titles in their headlock. I don't particularly care about the Ring of Honor Trios titles, but the AEW Trios titles, I do want to see them booked better. And it's just in a chokehold in this feud that it's like, who cares? What's about? And to be honest, even with a Bullet Club Gold turning on Acclaimed, I can't say like right now I care. Like
no,
I don't know. A turn is obviously gonna make it more interesting, but
I don't want to see these men
be here more so than anyone. Yeah, I don't want to see it.
Roosh just put out a tweet saying, I'm cleared for I'm back in action. These are the man Bullet Club Gold should be beefing. LFI. Yeah. Or instead of wasting time, instead of putting House of Black versus FTR, we could have been doing stuff with House of Black and Bullet Club Gold. There's Mandem there. But we're wasting time. I'm so sorry. We need to take these titles off of the Acclaimed. They need to be de-emphasized. I'm so sorry. They need to be de-emphasized on the product. Enough. We always talk about AEW rotating and recycling people. Them man haven't been recycled enough. They've
Yeah,
been on TV
that's
for
true.
too long. They haven't been recycled
That is
enough.
true.
Let us miss you. I'm tired.
It's crazy. Yeah, they've been almost forced. I don't want to say down our necks, pause, but yeah, that's exactly what it's been like. It's
Bruv.
been too much of the acclaim, from tag team title to trios title and the stuff. Like, yeah, it's enough. It is enough. Is enough. Enough is enough. Next, we had women's action. Willow Nightingale, accompanied by, I guess, her new manager representation, Stokely Hathaway, who went on to commentary. She was going up against Sky Blue. A decent match between these two. There was a code blue where it pretty much looked like Sky Blue had got the win against Willow Nightingale, but Stokely Hathaway had left the commentary position. He was up on the apron, distracting referee Aubrey. We saw Willow Nightingale get out of that situation, hit a sit-down powerbomb to put away Sky Blue. I guess none the wiser of Stokely Hathaway's interference in the match to help her win. I thought this was decent. I really want to see what the payoff, I guess, is between this Chris Statlander Hathaway Nightingale story. But I think it's all right. What did you think of this?
Yeah, I think this story's been fun. It's been very low stakes. Obviously, just one of these odd stories that they're telling. I think it's funny. But yeah, I want to see where the payoff is. I hope none of them. Do you know what? I wouldn't even mind if them three stick around together. To be honest, just as like, because I don't see, like, I don't like if one of them turns on in the other, I'm not gonna believe it because I'm like, you might not beefing over Stokely Hathaway. No, I don't believe that.
Mm.
I don't know. Let this be one of the few things that's a happy ending in wrestling, that they all just like a chill group together. But yeah,
Yeah.
I noticed Willow's record is pretty decent this year. They're on, what is she, like 4-6-0 or something like that, like 4-6-0. So who knows? Are they gearing her up for something? Maybe. Because with the TBS title reign, I know we established the long reigns with Jade, and Statland had a prominent reign, but it is a mid-card title. It can jump around.
You can
And I
jump
think
around, yeah.
Julia Hart, being champion, her winning the championship is fine, but I don't think she needs to be this like long dominant champion. And no, she can lose the title. I think Willow, somebody that I could definitely see being the TBS champion for sure. So yeah, let's belt Willow up this year, man. Let's belt her up.
I think, yeah, I was just about to say, someone said in the chat, and Navy's got to hear, Julia Hart is apparently injured, which would explain, I guess, her lack of activity and kind of being a bit more with House of Black these days and doing shenanigans with House of Black. I guess what confirmed by SRS. So, I mean, depending how bad it is, whether they strip her for the title or she can just get in the ring, have a quick match with someone and lose the title. Like, if she's injured, let's not waste any time. We don't need to get into the realm of interims and stuff. If it is a serious injury, just gonna put her on the shelf for a minute. Let's decide what we're doing, get the title off her. There's too many women and stuff to do here. So yeah, I'm for a quick switcheroo if needed. That brings us to our main event match: Orange Cassidy versus Matt Taven, a non-title Texas death match. Now, when I saw this match being advertised on social media, I was thinking, what the hell are these two having a death match for? Like a Texas death match, especially once you say Texas death match, a couple months out of what we saw between Hangman and Swerve. I'm just thinking that's like, blow off settings at this point. Like, we hate each other. The feud is hot. That's why we're doing this kind of match. So I didn't really understand. Yes, I know these lot are a whole Undisputed Kingdom, and Roddy Strong is waiting in the wings. But I was thinking, why are we doing this? Like, but I thought, okay, let's go. And then I think that how I felt about it going into the match, maybe early doors of the match, I wasn't really giving it a chance. By the time them man had gone like up the entranceway and come back down, I thought, nah, this match is crazy. Some of the spots we saw the attacks, we saw Taven do that massive dive out of the ring. Cassidy moved out the way. Taven went flying through a table, which collapsed the commentator's table as well. Just there's too much stuff to mention in terms of what happened here. Navy says here, Matt Taven outworked Orange low key. I would agree. Now, I don't know, like, so when I was watching Ring of Honor, like 2014, 2015 times, I think Matt Taven had won like some breakout tournament they had.
Yeah.
And Matt Taven was moving mad them days. And I don't think I've seen Taven that good until last night. Like, I think he remembered who he was, or I don't know, he had a point to prove, hence why maybe he got this match in the main event. Like, I definitely agree with Navy there that he outworked Orange Cassidy. He was good. He gave me vibes of like, yeah, when he was on his come up, and then obviously he became Ring of Honor champion. And I know it kind of went left when he became the champion, but everything he did before that, it was like, yeah, this guy's gonna be someone one day. But yeah, this was a really, really good match. At the end, we saw what's his name? Mike Bennett get involved to try and help Taven. It didn't really help. Roderick Strong came in as well. Roderick Strong got thrown out the ring by Cassidy, and in the end, Cassidy won the match with a count out victory. He was knocked out. He didn't get up for the 10 count in the ring, which again is a kind of a new way. You don't often see that. So it kind of played out like a bit of a last man standing match. But very violent, good fun. The crowd was super into it. The crowd was super hot for it. Cassidy looks great in wasn't a title match, but just looked great coming out the other side, where he's kind of got rid of all of these guys. Even Trent Beretta came down. He had done like the little scene from, I think it's Terminator 2, where he's holding a bouquet of roses, and he gets rid of the roses, and there's a steel pipe in the middle of the roses, and he came down. He took a nasty who threw the chair at him? Taven threw a chair at him. That looked absolutely horrible. So then he took a spear, I think, when it probably looked like Orange Cassidy was going to lose. He took the bullet effectively. So yeah, I think it's feeding into whatever that storyline is between the best friend guys as well. But yeah, overall, like, car crash of a match. Really good fun to end the show. Yeah, what did you think?
I didn't get a chance to watch this match live. It's the one match I missed, I know. But from the rave reception it's gotten online, it's definitely something I'm going to check out. I was gonna ask, like, is this kind of what you? I feel like this is kind of what you do with Undisputed Kingdom. Not give them death matches every week, but like, especially with like Matt Bennett, Matt Taven, you give them marquee matches or like highlight matches throughout the week where they, even if in defeat, they'll come out looking strong. Obviously, you want to keep the faction strong, so you have them collect wins here and there. But I feel like everyone in this match is talking about Matt Taven, and that's good for the faction. I just think the faction just needs. I think it's operating without its leader, Adam Cole, which is hurting them. But I feel like doing stuff like this, obviously Roderick Strong, if it goes at how we predict, winning the international title, will help as well. But keeping these man busy, heck, these man are. I know people don't like ROH championships being defended on Dynamite, but just put them in tag team matches throughout the week. In terms of the Texas Deathmatch thing, when I first saw the announcement, I agreed with you. But then when they before the match started, when they ran back, okay, these are the ongoings of what's been happening between these men, it reminded me, actually, you know what? A bit of blood does need to be shed because these men have been moving mad. Now, I don't think it's a Texas death match. I think it should have been a no disqualification match, something lesser. Not Texas death, like a no DQ would have satisfied. Then Texas death in it. But yeah. But from what I've seen, from the little spots I've seen online and just the reception has got, it looked like it was a great match. But yeah, man, listen, Roderick Strong, it's time to collect what's yours, man. I want this. I can't lie. The prospect of a Roderick Strong title reign, it's exciting again. I need it. I need it, man. I need it.
This is my only thing with, again, it's the timing of this. Like Roderick Strong's going to win that title next month, right? Now these men are already holding the Ring of Honor tag titles. What is the time frame for an Adam Cole return? And when he returns, how long after you put the title on him? Are these men gonna still be champions when he wins that belt? Like, this is the one thing. He was already in the wheelchair. He was already injured when he done this Undisputed Kingdom prophecy. So it's like, you should have waited until you were fit, and then this is the prophecy, and then you man go and attack it. But
they overshot that way too quickly. It's like, this is our mission statement. I'm like, hold on, are you even fit to enact the mission statement? Hold on. Like, I still think you could, like, do you know what? I would have had them do the Undisputed Kingdom prophecy after Roderick Strong wins. It's like, let's say Roderick Strong got the title. Now, obviously, Mike Bennett, Matt Taven got the title. Then you say, hey, two of us are holding titles. We have a prophecy to uphold. You know, when I'm back, I'm gonna join these man with the titles they already got with my title, so on and so forth. And you know, but the question every time I will ask this until I get an answer: what is going on with Wardlow? What do we do? Because because even after this performance, we're talking about Matt Taven, calm. We know what Roderick's gonna do. Calm. Wardlow, we don't know what your purpose is in this group. Even his match was a nothing match. It was nothing. We've reverted back to squash matches. I'm so Tony Khan does not know how to book this man.
Yeah.
He does not know what to do with Wardlow, specifically Wardlow. He does not know what to do with him. It's redundant booking. It was a mistake. It was a mistake putting him in this faction.
You were giving this man, like, I know he wasn't wrestling too much straight out of the gate in AEW, but let's say 2019, for sure 2020, you were giving this man the same 90-second squash matches. So why is this still where he is 4 years later? Like, that shows something. It's got to show something. Like, you don't know what to do with him and stuff. And again, this was my biggest fear. They'd actually done some good rehabilitation work on Wardlow, and then they involved him in this MJF stuff, wearing MJF's name on his wrist and stuff like that. Like, unnecessary, because now he's come and joined this faction. You've went and said he's gonna win the world title and then hand it over to you because he's an idiot, right? Like, you've just got him back into the same foolish position you dug him out from. I would literally say they dug him out from him, and you know, they made him cool. The power bombs were just ending matches. He'll just walk out of the place. Like, right, we've got back to some level of monster at this point. Like, yeah, there's still the taint, you know, the bad stench around what he did with the TNT title and all of that other stuff, but he's been off TV, he came back, he looks a bit better, and you've put him back into a silly, compromising position where he just doesn't look intelligent. Good. More so than anything, he doesn't look smart. Don't you learn from these instances, bro? It's mad.
Like, he doesn't fit in the faction at all. All these, even his motivation is the weakest, because Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Adam Cole, Mike Bennett, Matt Taven, they all know each other. They all literally know each other. You're the odd one out in the group where, okay, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Cool, the enemy is no longer there. These men have now even said to you, yo, when you win the title, swing that over. Adam Cole ain't said that to Roderick Strong.
Exactly.
He ain't said that to Roderick. Nah, I'm. Do you know what it is? I want better for Wardlow, but it's not gonna happen here. It's not. So he's one of the people. As soon as his contract's up, my friend, go.
Yeah.
It's time. Go. Go. And that's not even on the thing of we don't want you here. There's nothing for you here. I'm not even gonna say they're gonna be greener pastures in WWE. I don't know, but try something. Because right now, it's like it's with Wardlow, it's all set up, no payoff. That's his AEW run. All set up, no payoff. The setups have been great. Cool. We will allow the MJS stuff because that was kind of hampered by the backstage politics. Cool. The TNT title reign wasn't good. Then he had another TNT title reign that wasn't good. And then like cool, like you said, they've rehabilitated him, they've given him a new thing, and they throw him right back with MJF. I'm like, I'm not sure about this. Now you got him doing this where he doesn't fit. He's been miscast. He's been misprofiled.
Yeah.
So
I would say even if he was to go to WWE, I genuinely mean this and not as a disrespectful way, he has to start from NXT. Because even the likes of Bron Breakker, that guy knows himself. He's way past Wardlow at this point in terms of development, like how they've booked him and stuff like that. Like he would have to come to a point where he goes and he can be NXT world champion and whatever, like, or NXT champion, whatever they call it. But like, he can't go on TV and expecting or getting some carpet rolled out for him. He's achieved nothing. He's achieved nothing in AEW, despite winning the TNT title 3 times. He's achieved nothing. Like, it would be a position where, okay, I've kind of squandered 4 years. Okay, yeah, I've more experienced in wrestling and all of that kind of stuff. I've wrestled on TV, but in terms of name value, he is starting again, basically. Like, and yeah, it's 4 years of the same thing. Try to get him to some type of, cusp, and they mess it up. And I just think that's all you need. Like, if a guy can't, you're one of the most traditional looking pro wrestlers this company has, and they can't manage to book you, maybe as well, not to put the whole blame on AEW, when you're given good positions, you don't come across particularly convincing. Yeah, I think it's, rip up the script, and when your time's up, and go somewhere else and start again.
Yeah, because
maybe TNA. Maybe TNA is even a good shout for him.
Yeah,
maybe that's a nice little middle ground where he can probably just go in and
that's a good shout.
Yeah,
but
maybe
even
TNA is
like back to like even some of his contemporaries in that TNT title picture were doing. Obviously, Will Hobbs is perpetually in the same place, but I think of his main rival was Samoa Joe. And just look at what a difference a year could make. Just like the trajectory of them two, and obviously Joe's a veteran, so it might not be necessarily fair to be like, look what Joe's doing compared to you. Joe's a 20+ year veteran in this business. He's seasoned, he knows exactly what to do. But it's like, as bad as the TNT title run, the TNT championship run booking wise was, someone like Joe was still managing to put himself in positions to where, okay, down the line he can win something. With Wardlow, you're not even within the squash matches, I'm not even compelled. There's nothing compelling about you in these matches, or the times I see you on TV, or the times you get a microphone. Those moments, there's nothing compelling about Wardlow.
Yeah.
The hottest he's ever been is a piece to a wider puzzle, which was in the CM Punk and MJF feud. He was a tremendous piece.
Yeah.
Excellent, but he was a piece of that story. The story wasn't his.
Yeah. I think even with, you mentioned Hobbs, and I'm no fan of what they've consistently been doing with Hobbs. He's had good moments as well, just like Wardlow's had those opportunities. The one difference is they have never made Hobbs look like an idiot. Like, and this is the thing, like, you can be booked poorly and stuff like that, but when they're booking you to look like you have no brain cells, like you can't see what's happening here, or whatever the case is, like with this Undisputed Kingdom stuff, like And people will say, "Oh no, you know, however they play it, Wardlow might get the better of them and whatever." I'm not even trying to see him get the better of them because I
Exactly.
don't care for him. Like,
Exactly.
I'm not trying to see him be like, "Oh, outsmart them" or anything like that. Like, for me, it's done. I'm sorry,
That's
it's
the
done.
problem. That's the problem. It's a lose-lose situation in the sense where, cool, if you don't win the title, when you look like an idiot, and if you do win the title, we don't care.
Yeah.
We don't care because I could name like 5 to 10 people I want to see win touch that title before Wardlow. And one of
Mhm.
them's in the faction. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do, but hopefully, whatever it is, they accelerate it. I don't know when Adam Cole's coming back, but they need to just accelerate something, just in general for Undisputed Kingdom. Like I said, I remember saying this to you when people were saying pretty much on week 2 of Undisputed Kingdom, it's not good, that they're tired, and I thought no, it's too early to call it then. But I think now there's it's been a good amount of time to say
Yeah.
that it's something needs
Speed it
to
up.
give. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, that was our show. That was Dynamite. Is there anything to look forward to on Collision this week? Did they announce anything? I
Not
don't
that I
recall.
saw. I didn't see anything in particular, but they announced an interesting match for Dynamite next week. They announced I believe it was like a trios match. It was Samoa Joe, Swerve, and Brian Cage
Yeah,
versus Hangman,
Hook
Hook,
and RVD.
and RVD. I was like, that's an interesting match. I can't lie.
I saw that match card and I thought someone's like pressed random on like Fight Forever, AEW Fight Forever, and he's just throwing up these characters all in a trios match.
Do you
Like
know what? It's
it feels
RVD
random.
that makes it random because Hawk makes sense because obviously he just had the match with Joe once his
Mm.
get back fares. It's RVD where I'm like, you don't belong.
Well,
Brian Cage,
RVD, I guess he just had a match against Swerve, innit? And he's
yeah,
been
true,
seen with Hook, tagging with Hook in the past, I guess. So
true.
he
Yeah,
just
but
looks
he's
random
random
regardless.
though.
He's
He's
just random
random.
regardless.
But I'll take it though. Why
Yeah.
not? I'll
And
take it.
then like we said, we got FTR versus BCC next
Yeah,
week as well, which will be good.
yeah.
So yeah, a good show this past week. Next week will be, I'm sure, will be good as we move closer to Revolution. There was no talk of big business this week when I think about it now. I don't even remember like a mention it. I don't remember a commentary if they mentioned it. I can't remember,
I
but not
think they
like a
mentioned
graphic or
it in
anything.
passing, but it wasn't like, hey, it was like in passing, but it wasn't like
Mm.
you didn't get no graphic of it. I think it was mentioned on
Yeah,
commentary,
yeah,
but that was about it. But yeah,
cool.
but I
All
guess
right.
it's like I don't know. Yeah, we need more mention of it. We do need more mention of it, but yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I was thinking, is it a thing where they've sold all the allocated tickets, so they don't necessarily need to promote
No,
it too
no,
tough anymore?
no. They've
But
sold like a decent. I remember they've sold like over 5,000 tickets easily, but
mm,
it's like I think that's like a 19K building.
yeah, but I think I saw that they're only allocating about 6,000, 7,000 seats for it.
Oh, okay, fairs. Well,
So they
they'll
might
probably
be at capacity unless they open up more room or whatever, more
yeah.
space. But yeah, either way, they should still promote it to the TV crowd. So yeah. Cool. All right, let's leave it there. We'll pick up again next week for more Revolution Radio, reviewing the best of AEW Dynamite. Big up everyone that watched live. Big up everyone that's going to listen back. Hit the like button, subscribe to Things, and we will catch you again, Revolution Radio, next week.
Peace.
See you guys later.